Hi there. In this episode, we're going to look at how Spain sets up its empire here in Florida. So the first Spanish explorer to come to Florida, of course, is Ponce de Leon. And of course, there's the mythology, the idea that he's looking for the fountain of youth. But there's really no evidence of this whatsoever at all. Think of it as an urban legend. It's mythology that's been passed on from generation to generation. He's going to try to set up a colony in 1521, but he's going to be defeated by Native Americans. That's not going to end the Spanish and their quest to conquer Florida, though. They're going to return. But first, France is going to. France is going to want in on the riches that Spain is taking out of Central and South America. So they think they're going to find those here in Florida as well. They're going to build Fort Caroline in 1562. The Spanish are going to found their settlement in 1565, and it becomes the first permanent settlement in the United States. Of course, this is St. Augustine. Now, the French and the Spanish, of course, are going to go at it and battle over Florida. France plans to attack, but really it's Mother Nature that comes in and helps the Spanish. Their ships are wiped out in a hurricane. That leaves the Spanish and Spain to attack Fort Caroline, and they're going to force France out of Florida. It's going to be then that really Spain is going to take over Florida and keep Florida for quite some time until it becomes part of the United States. Elsewhere in the Southwest, we're going to have different Spanish explorers looking for basically gold. Remember in the past video we talked a little bit about mercantilism and this idea that you wanted a positive trade balance, so they're really going to be looking for gold reserves. De Soto is going to explore from basically Florida all the way to Oklahoma, and Coronado is going to explore from Mexico up into Kansas. Now the Spanish are going to set up settlements. There's going to be 3 different kinds of settlements that they set up across the New World, and there are the first one's known as pueblos, which are towns basically for trade. They're going to set up missions, which are religious communities, churches and convents and places where they're going to try to convert Native Americans. And then they're going to set up what are referred to as presidios, which are forts. So they're going to have these 3 different kinds of settlements in the New World. They're also going to set up their own class system. And there's going to be different levels of people that are in different classes. So at the top of these are peninsulares. They are people who are actually born in Spain and have come to the New World. Under them, there are going to be Creoles. These are Spanish-born people. Their parents were Spanish, but they're born here in the Americas. Next, we have Mestizos, which are a mixture of Native Americans with Spanish blood. Then under that, you have Native Americans, and at the bottom, you have slaves. They're going to also bring the plantation system to the New World. The Spanish are going to start raising basically cash crops that aren't so much for food, but that you can sell and then use that money. So the main one here in Florida is going to be sugar. When they set up these large farms, these plantations, they're going to look to slave labor to work those farms. At first, they're going to enslave Native Americans, but with time, they're going to turn to Africa. And this is because of the Columbian Exchange. In the last video, we talked about how smallpox and other diseases wipe out huge portions of the population of Native Americans. Basically, the Native Americans as slaves are not going to be working out very well. They know the territory, they can just go home. And B, they don't have the immunities that are going to keep them safe from these European diseases. As a result, we're going to end up with the Atlantic slave trade. Okay, that's it for this episode.